Welcome to Soama Media.
The old man died quietly, the way he had always lived. No struggle. No final words. Just a slow breath, and then no breath at all. Pak Wirio had fallen asleep beside his wife, as he had done for nearly 50 years, in their small wooden house at the edge of a quiet village in central Java. The crickets sang outside. The night air drifted through the thin curtains. His wife, Ibu Sari, woke before dawn to begin her morning prayer. She turned toward him gently. "Pak, wake up. It's almost Sabu." He did not move. She touched his arm. Cold. Too cold. At first she thought he was in a deep sleep. Then her hand trembled as she placed her fingers beneath his nose. No warmth. No breath. Just stillness. Ibu Sari did not scream. Instead, she sat quietly beside him, her hand resting on his chest, whispering softly, as if he might still hear. "My old man, you've gone ahead of me." Word spread quickly through the village. By midday, the house was filled with family. Children, cousins, neighbors. In their village, the body would remain in the home for 3 days. It was believed the spirit needed time to let go, to slowly detach from the life it had known. They prepared a small room beside the bedroom. The door was left open, as custom demanded, so the spirit could come and go freely, seeing the family one last time. The women washed Pak Wirio's body carefully. They dressed him in white. Before laying him down, his jaws were gently tied with a thin white string, so his mouth would not fall open. He looked peaceful. As if still asleep. That first night, the house was heavy with quiet grief. The extended family slept in the living room. Some on couches, others on thin mats spread across the tiled floor. Children curled beside their mothers. Ibu Sari eventually fell asleep in her room, exhausted from tears. Then, at exactly 2 o'clock in the morning, she woke. A sound. Soft. Like cloth brushing the floor. She sat up slowly. The house was dim, lit only by a small lamp near the prayer table. Another sound. Footsteps. Her heart tightened. She stood, her feet cold against the floor, and opened her bedroom door. The living room stretched before her. Family members lay asleep everywhere. Then she saw him. Her husband. Bent over one of the children sleeping on the floor. In his hand, a measuring tape. He was carefully stretching it from the child's head to its feet. Slowly. Precisely. Ibu Sari's breath caught in her throat. It was their favorite grandchild. The one he adored most. Then the tape clicked softly as he pulled it back in. Ibu Sari screamed. Pak Wirio looked up. Their eyes met. For a moment, he looked almost startled. Then he turned and ran, not fast, but with a strange gliding movement, back toward the small room. Ibu Sari stood frozen as she watched him lie down in his bed, lift his own hands, and tie the white string around his jaw again. Stillness returned. Like nothing had happened. The child stirred awake from her scream. Soon everyone else woke too. Voices filled the room. What happened? What's wrong? Ibu Sari, shaking, told them everything. Some believed her immediately. Others whispered that grief plays tricks on the mind. But no one volunteered to go into the room. Fear settled over the house like a fog. By the time the whispers quieted, the sky had begun to lighten. It was nearly 5 in the morning. No one dared return to sleep in the living room. Instead, they all gathered in Ibu Sari's room, laying blankets across the floor. The door to the dead man's room remained open. Watching. Waiting. Morning came slowly. Everyone looked tired. Pale. Pak Wirio's sister, Ibu Rini, finally gathered her courage. She stepped into the room. Her brother lay peacefully, just as before. She stood over him, her voice soft. My brother, why did you get up last night? Is something troubling you? Did we fail to do something? Tell us now, give us a sign. Silence. Only the faint rustling of leaves outside. She sighed and left. Later, after breakfast, she and Ibu Sari gently took the child aside, the one Pak Wirio had measured. They prepared a spirit bath using herbs and warm water. Afterward, they placed a small blue dot on the child's forehead. A blue ribbon was tied around the child's wrist. Protection. Mourning. And warning. They knelt before the child. If Grandpa ever calls you, Ibu Rini said softly, in dreams or in real life, do not answer. Go to your mother or father instead. The child nodded seriously. I promise. After 3 days, Pak Wirio's body was taken to the temple. He was buried the next morning. The ceremony went peacefully. But strange things happened. A cup falling with no one near it. A door slowly closing. Soft footsteps at night. Still, the family refused to panic. They did not want to frighten the children. 2 months passed. Life slowly returned to normal. Ibu Sari still mourned, but her sisters visited daily. They all lived along the same narrow street. One afternoon, Ibu Sari babysat her favorite grandchild. The house was quiet. The child played on the floor with wooden toys while Ibu Sari prepared tea. Then the child stopped playing. It looked toward the hallway. Grandpa, the child whispered. Ibu Sari froze. What did you say? The child tilted its head. He's calling me. A soft sound came from the hallway. The faint clicking of a measuring tape. Ibu Sari's heart pounded. Come here, she whispered urgently. But the child slowly stood, and took a step toward the hallway. Grandpa says he needs to measure me again. The blue ribbon around the child's wrist slipped loose, and fell to the floor. The air grew cold. Ibu Sari lunged forward and grabbed the child just as a shadow stretched across the hallway floor. The measuring tape slid into view first. Then slowly, the shape of Pak Wirio began to form in the dim light. Ibu Sari clutched the child tightly. No, she whispered, trembling. The shadow paused. Then slowly, it faded. The tape retracted with a final click. Silence returned. Ibu Sari tied the blue ribbon back tightly around the child's wrist. This time, she tied it twice. And from that day on, she never let the child out of her sight when the sun began to set.
Garantangi, till the next video.